What's going on, guys? Just got done watching the show and I thought it was an awesome episode. I love the grudge thing, you know, had nothing to do with lift racing. That's what street racing has been for as long as drag racing has been. And I just enjoy the grudge racing more personally. With that being said, there is several things I want to talk about. And number one is I enjoyed the money. You know, I have said for weeks about the little groups that it had broke off into, and they finally admitted that that had happened. But there's several things that I do want to talk about with the races that went on and why what happened, and let's kick it off right here. Before I get started with anything to do with tonight's episode, there's one or two things I want to say. Number one, the contest that I had will be done by the time this hits, and it will be opened on air, live video. If you did send something for the contest, go back and check out my live video and see if it was you that won it. The second thing is any overlaying video that is in this video right here was given to me, or I had permission to use it from Tom 80 Videos. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. He is at all of the No Prep Kings, all of the live Street Outlaw events. Go check his page out. The first race that I want to talk about, which was the first race of the night, would be Farmtruck versus Asian and the Jeeper Sleeper. And two completely different vehicles, two completely different types of vehicles, completely different classes, and Farmtruck got him by a couple of cars. I think they called it by 4. I'm not sure, but I know that Jeep is fast. But there's no way Farmtruck was spraying on that pass. That was an all-motor pass. I would bet everything on it. There's no way that he only won by that amount if he wasn't spraying. If he would have been spraying, the wheels would have been hung out from the jump. Do not think he was spraying at all. The next race that I want to talk about, and that is Shawn and Ryan. And to me, that was going to be a good race. They both took off hard and they broke loose about the same. Shawn and Ryan both broke their tires loose about 60 to 100 foot out, and the difference is when they gathered them back up, Ryan got back in his and Shawn didn't. I don't know what he thought happened to Ryan, or if he just didn't want to risk it for $1,000, what the problem was. But Ryan got back in it, Shawn didn't, and that is what that win was caused from. You know, I'm not saying that if he got back in it, he could have outrun him. But when the tires broke loose on both the cars, Shawn was out in front. I don't know what the outcome of the race would have been if they would have stayed in it all the way. I would have said Ryan. Ryan did end up winning, but it was due to technicalities and who gathered it up the fastest. The next one I want to talk about is Lutz and Dave. And I have, depending on how you take what I said, I have kind of talked about Lutz being not as fast this whole season. And every time I've said something about it, I have also said that I knew he would get the car together. I had a lot of respect for Lutz, and I knew he was fast. Well, over the past couple of weeks, you can tell how much faster he has got. And even in real life now, you can see, I mean, he's going to finals in some of these no prep races, but it's hard to judge street racing off of no prep racing. It is completely different, and no matter what all the promoters and everybody says, it is different. It just, there is nothing like it the same. And although Dave's car didn't make a pass, don't know what happened. I think it was his throttle position sensor, his TPS. I'm not sure what it was, but either way, Lutz was rolling. Lutz was moving. The fastest pass that car has made all season happened on the episode tonight. But if you notice, Lutz did not want to go double or nothing. Daddy Dave still has an insane fast car. I'm not saying that if his car would have been 100% that Lutz would outrun him, but either way, Lutz's car was fast. A lot of times, if a car doesn't make a pass or they go solo, it looks like their car's faster than what it is. But if they leave a camera in the same place long enough, you can tell how fast the car is. One thing that they do to keep people who actually try to study it from knowing how fast they are, and I'm not saying it's intentional, but they do so many camera angles in one race. You got to think, in real life, this race lasted between 4 and 5 seconds, and on the show, it lasts about 12 seconds. They do so many different camera angles, it takes that long for a race to be over. Long story short, Lutz got the win. Throw Daddy Dave in the trailer, $1,000. The next one I'm talking about is Doc and Dominator, and like I've told a lot of y'all in the past, me and my dad will watch the show together, and he said, "Who you think's got it?" And he said, "I think Joe's got it." And I said, just something was telling me Doc had it. Doc has been an MVP, a hard charging car, hard charging driver the past couple of weeks, and I thought he had it. Dominator's had a few problems, and when Dominator starts having problems, he's not like everyone else. His small problems grow into big problems, grow into huge problems, and end up costing him races, costing him multiple races, and becomes a thorn in his side for a long time. So I called Doc. I thought Doc had it. Doc walked off with it, and as you could tell, when they were standing in Doc's shop at the beginning, they were showing that 959 cubic inch engine sitting in the ground, and he was talking about it was going in the car. Can't wait to see it in the car on the street. I have played a clip for y'all of the car at the track with the engine in it, and I'll play it right here. That car sounds insane. That is one ground beating. It has finally earned the name Beast. That car sounds completely different than any other car on the list. It sounds insane. But walked off and left it, and that was the end of it. The next one I want to talk about is Monza and Shane. And Monza, since his wreck, you haven't seen any progress on the car. You seen him in a no prep race a month or so ago, and the car was primered. Tonight the car was back just like it was. It makes me wonder how recent this race was. I don't think it was right after the last list race. I think there was some time in between, because the car was primered at a no prep race not very long ago, and the car was back painted tonight. The car was beautiful. The car was straight. The car was fast, and like I said just a second ago, it's hard to tell exactly how fast it is unless a car is beside it. Since Shane's trans brake didn't hold, he never left, the car looked fast. I mean, who knows how fast it really was other than him, but to me it looked like it was a contender for the list. With all that being said, the only race left to talk about is the one between Chief and Chuck. Chuck beat Chief tonight, without a doubt. Chuck also treed Chief by about a car. So he had one car out of the hole, and he beat Chief by half a car. So as far as actual times, Chief was faster than Chuck, but he didn't get to the other end. He lost. I'm not arguing that fact, but go back and watch it. He had Chief by a car. He only beat him by half a car, which means in racer rules, Chief's car is a half a car faster than Chuck. But the little rivalries they had, the little groups they had, Ryan, Lutz, and Chuck walked away $4,500 richer than Chief, Dave, and Shawn. That's how it worked out. You know, a lot of that stuff is for ratings as far as when they get together and pull together and all that, but that race was a lot of upsets, a lot of comebacks, and a good race, in my opinion. I think that if they would do more of those instead of some of the list racing, it might be better. You know, because some of the best rivalries are so far apart, and some of the fastest cars are so far apart that they can't race who the fastest cars are. You know, Chuck is 5 right now, and he just outrun the #1 guy. You know, am I saying that he has a consistently #1 car? I don't know. But he has a car that is worthy of #1, or at least a chance at it. He proved it tonight. You know, I don't know how to fix what's going on. They can't just keep doing list shakeups, you know, and that fixes everything. Because if a car is on point one night and a fast car is not, it may take all season for that fast car to work its way back to where it belongs. The way the list shakeup should work is the winner of the first 5 races and the loser of the first 5 races should have to draw again and race again, and draw again and race again to see where they belong and see where they belong. Instead of just taking the winner of the first 5 and letting those keep racing, these need to keep racing to move the faster cars closer to 5 and the fastest car closer to 1. That way, the fastest one can go on and advance, and the slower one can go on and go back. That is how to get rid of like what happened with Lutz and Dominator all season, hanging up the middle of the list. That is a way to get rid of a few problems that they've had. But that's my opinion. What I say will never change anything with the show, so it is what it is. But that is everything that happened this week. I am really looking forward to next week's daily driver type races. I feel like everybody who's watching this right now can relate to that type of stuff more. So with that being said, I'm going to cut this video off right here. I'm going to keep working on this, and I hope to see you in the next video. Anything you want me to know, say, do, or have, send it to the email address that is right here. And my P.O. box is also on the screen. Anything you want me to have, send it there. I will promote it on this channel. And thank you very much for watching. Godspeed. I will see you in the next video.